The seasons of you. Normalizing that we aren't meant to be in bloom 24/7. Welcome back inside the grounded circle. We are officially stepping into a new chapter. Over the last several episodes, we spent time unlearning the things that have weighed us down, the pressure to have it all, the need to always be the strong one, the belief that our worth is tied to our productivity, the idea that slowing down means we are falling behind. And now, as we enter this next series, I want to shift our focus a little bit. Not just on what we are letting go of, but on what we are becoming. Because growth is not just about removing the things that no longer serve us. It is about creating space for a life that feels more aligned. And today, I want to talk about something that I think so many of us need permission to embrace. The seasons of who we are. For a long time, I think many of us have believed we are supposed to be in our constant season. Growth, achievement, productivity, progress. We feel like we should always be moving forward, always improving, always creating, always becoming the next version of ourselves. And while growth is beautiful, I think we forget something very important. Nature does not work that way. A tree does not bloom all year long. A garden does not produce flowers every single day. The earth has seasons for planting, seasons for growing, seasons for harvesting, and seasons for rest. So why do we expect ourselves to operate differently? Why do we expect ourselves to constantly be producing, achieving, and showing up at our highest level without ever needing time to pause? The truth is, we are human beings, not machines. We have seasons too. There are seasons where we feel energized, creative, inspired, ready to take on new challenges. Those are the seasons where ideas flow, goals feel exciting, and we feel like we are stepping into our purpose. But there are also seasons where we feel tired, where we need to reflect, where we need to heal, where we need to slow down and listen. And those seasons are not signs that something is wrong. They are part of the process. I think one of the hardest things we experience is when we are in our own winter season, while someone watching us experiencing spring. Maybe you look around and see someone launching something new. Someone is reaching a milestone. Someone seemingly moving forward effortlessly. And meanwhile, you feel like you are standing still. You start to ask yourself, why am I not where they are? Why don't I have that same energy? Why am I struggling to move forward? But here is the thing we have to remember. We are often comparing our behind the scenes seasons to someone else's visible season. Let me say that again. We are often comparing our behind the scenes season to someone else's visible season. We don't know what season they are coming out of, and we don't know what their journey required, and we don't know what is happening beneath the surface. Because growth is not always visible. Sometimes the most important work is happening quietly. Sometimes roots are growing before anything begins to bloom. A few years ago, I remember being in a season where I felt struck. I felt like I should be doing more, creating more, accomplishing more. I looked around and saw other people moving forward, and I wondered if I was somehow falling behind. But eventually I realized something. I wasn't failing. I was in a season that required something different from me. I wasn't meant to force constant output. I was being invited to slow down, to reflect, to rebuild, to prepare. And that realization changed the way I viewed those quieter seasons. Because winter is not a dead season. Winter is a preparation season. It is a season where the soil rests, where the roots strengthen, where the foundation is being created for what comes next. And sometimes we need that too. Sometimes we need a season where we stop asking, what am I producing? And start asking, what am I learning? What am I becoming? What is this season teaching me? Because every season has something to offer. Your seasons of growth teach you courage. Your seasons of challenge teach you resilience. Your seasons of waiting teach you patience. Your seasons of rest teach you trust. None of it is wasted. I think sometimes though, we put so much pressure on ourselves to always be in bloom that we forget the beauty of becoming. Becoming is not a straight line. It is not a constant upward climb. It is a process. It is learning who you are in the different chapters of your life. It is allowing yourself to evolve. And maybe today you are in a season of planting. You are starting something new. You are building. You are taking small steps toward a dream. Maybe you are in a season of growth. Things are moving. Opportunities are opening. You are stepping into a new version of yourself. Maybe you are in a season of harvest. You are seeing the results of things you worked hard for. You are enjoying the fruit of your effort. Or maybe you are in a season of rest. And if that is where you are, I want you to hear this. Rest is not a failure of ambition. Rest is not laziness. Rest is not falling behind. Rest is part of the rhythm. My grounded challenge for you this week is very simple. Take a moment and ask yourself, what season am I currently in? Not what season do you wish you were in, not what season you think you should be in, but what season are you actually experiencing right now? Are you planting, growing, harvesting, resting? And then ask yourself, what does this season require from me? Maybe it requires courage. Maybe it requires patience. Maybe it requires boundaries or even requires grace. Give yourself permission to honor the season you are instead of constantly trying to rush into the next one. Because you are not behind. You are not failing. You are becoming. And becoming takes time. Thank you for joining me inside the Grounded Circle as we begin this new chapter together. As we continue exploring what it means to live with more intention, purpose, and presence, remember this. You were never meant to bloom all year long. You were created to grow through every season. Until next time, stay grounded, honor your journey, and trust the season you are in.